Often I'm asked, how do you compare the capabilities and indexing of EBSCO Discovery Service against other databases and platforms that are available? And typically, to explain this, I like to use PubMed. PubMed is absolutely a premier resource for doing medical research. However, it doesn't index content outside of that scope. So as an example, I have the ability with Discovery Service to search across multiple disciplines for my search. Let's say I'm a petroleum company and my main focus of business is on petroleum or energy. However, if I also have a clinical health organization that may from time to time need to do research based off of medical information, Discovery Service has the ability to expand my scope. Again, I have a lot of options as to what I can set as the defaults, but the concept is that you're not limited by one set of resources. So if I, in this case, want to search for medical information, I can simply populate a set of keywords, topics that I want to search across. And within Discovery Service, I'm going to now be searching across not just my medical information, but also the other disciplines that are of value to me. And I pull back a set of results. Now, in order to make this an apples-to-apples search, PubMed, like most resources, does not have the ability to search within the full text. So I am going to turn off that capability and conduct this search. So now we see that we have 827 results based off of this medical term regarding diabetes. If I take that same search and I search it in a resource like PubMed, again, a gold standard for conducting medical and pharmaceutical research, I get from their platform 800 results. So we're in about the same scope as far as the total quantity of results. Within PubMed, it's going to initially sort by most recent. So the most recent article here is from July of 2015. Today is September 2015. So if I go back to Discovery Service and I change, our results will initially rank by relevance. So if I change my sort set to date newest, again to get an apples to apples comparison, you'll see that our most recent article is coming from September 2015. Now, that's going to happen from time to time. One of the things that I think is interesting, however, is first, if I look at the article that's coming from PubMed, and I take this PMID number, and I search for that number in Discovery Service, you will see that this particular article is part of Discovery Service. So it is part of my 827 results. I did not miss it. So let's do the opposite. If I take the title of the article that's in Discovery Service, and I search for this in PubMed, what is interesting is that this article is part of PubMed, but it didn't show up on the result list when we did the keyword search. This is part of the power of Discovery Service, is our quality indexing, so it's able to discover results. I'm going to reveal to you now how that happens. As you can see, when I did my search in PubMed originally for my search terms, it has these keywords that it's using in order to identify the relevancy of the article based off of the words that I searched. Basically, it's going to use things like in the title, in the abstract, in the keywords. But for PubMed, it is limited by the scope of the keywords that are contributed. If I go back to Discovery Service and I look here, I can see not only do we have those same keywords that were supplied by the author in PubMed, but in Discovery Service, I have additional keywords that have been contributed by other sources. A better way to show this is if now in Discovery Service I take this title and I conduct a search by this title alone in Discovery Service, what it's going to reveal is exact duplicates removed from the results. This is a way to demonstrate the concept, but please understand, Discovery Service has close to 30,000 sources, so I can't show you all of the sources that contributed metadata to this title search, but I think you'll get the concept from the sources that I can reveal. So here we have two results that ultimately came back, and the reason why we have two of them is because they're not exact. As you can see here, there's a discrepancy between the way one publisher did the source title, where we have diabetes, and then we have some abbreviations here for obesity and metabolism, whereas here we don't have that. So that's the reason why we have the two records. But in addition to having these two records, if I go into the first one, you can see that this record coming from Medline is an exact duplicate of what we have in PubMed. I'm limited simply to these keywords as my subject terms, and then the abstract information. But in Discovery Service, if I go to the following record, you'll see here I have an additional set of subject terms that weren't revealed in the previous search that I did. Things like diabetic therapy, comparative analysis, glucose comparative analysis. If someone were doing a search using those original keywords that I supplied, but they wanted to limit their search to this kind of a comparative analysis, Discovery Service has that indexed. In fact, if I go back by doing this title search, I can now look at the content provider facet here to the right, and it displays for me some of the multiple sources of indexing that have been provided for this same article. So if I subscribe to Scopus, because Scopus is a subject index that contributes high quality indexing terms to articles, I don't want to miss out on those terms being part of my initial search. In Discovery Service, I'm not limited to one resource. We have layers of resources that have contributed. And even though the most relevant one is going to be pulled to the top based off of things like date newest, based off of relevancy ranking, based off of whether I'm searching for a title, as in this case, or as I was previously searching, if I'm looking for keywords or topics, which is typically the way searches are conducted in order to discover relevant results, it's in these layers of indexing and metadata that Discovery Service is extremely unique. Then on top of that, it has the ability to present links to the full text based off of your holdings and your subscriptions. So that's a brief example of how Discovery Service definitely differentiates itself from other solutions, as high caliber as they are. Without that ability to search across multiple resources and databases, you're missing out on the ability to discover those relevant results in articles.